So, Elnaz, talk to me about your activism. You are a successful actress in India. You are Iranian-born, but India is now home. And you're willing to give up significant pay from an upcoming project. You've been putting yourself on the line, posting regularly on social media, and getting heavy criticism for that. What is driving you to do this?
Well, first of all, the whole fact that I have lived in Iran and I have lived everything you guys are talking about now. My parents have lived it. My family, as we speak, is in Iran, and they're going through everything that we see in the news. So I know exactly how it feels, and I know how my family and friends are feeling. So all we Iranians outside of the country are trying to do is to help and to support as much as we can. And I know how the situation in Iran is. We know how the economy is. Frankly speaking, I don't shy away from saying it, but my entire family in Iran is living in poverty right now. And that's the fact for 90% of the people in Iran, because of the economy, and nobody really has enough money. Imagine if there are 4 people in a family, all 4 must be working at least 2 jobs, and they still don't have enough. And with the fact that they've gone on strike right now, they won't be making any more money than they were before. Like that was less, and now they're not making any money anymore. So I'm thinking, if I'm blessed, if I were so lucky to leave the country and now make so much money, this is the time where I need to give back. And I really hope that more Iranians, or even if not Iranians, more people just come forward and help, because we know that this is going to help, and we know that Iran is going to win this fight. They just need help.
So how are you going to make sure that the money that you're sending gets to your family, gets to the protesters, if you want to support the movement, because the regime controls everything?
Yes, they do, and it's really, really hard. I have been in touch with a couple of people in the last 2 weeks, and I found someone who I can trust, someone who himself travels to Mahabad or like Saqqez or the other cities where they really need help, where they need medicine, where they need money to actually survive. He actually identifies those people, and I know that that money is getting in safe hands and to the people who need it. And I'm sure that more people can try and do the same and find the people who need the help.
In these past almost 3 months of protests, we have seen the regime beat down the protesters. We've seen them shoot and kill them. They've been arrested. Children have been arrested. Do you think it'll get to a point where they will just try to subvert the whole cause by removing access to food or money? Or how far do you think the regime will go?
Well, as we've seen, this regime, they can do anything, like literally things that we never think of. Suddenly they come up with some weird idea and then they just do it. So it is scary. But we've also been seeing how things have slowed down after the whole UN thing and the whole decision that they've been making. And now there are more decisions that are being made. I know on the 14th of December, there was another meeting happening in Europe. So the regime knows exactly this is their end. So they will try and do some other things, whatever might come to their minds. But I know that our people right now, they're very strong, and they're going to stay strong, and we will help them from abroad, and it's going to be okay. We're going in the right direction. I know that.
Now that you've mentioned the United Nations, I wonder, how did it feel? Because when the debate came up and the vote came up for having the United Nations Human Rights Commission carry out an investigation into human rights abuses, a number of countries voted against, but a few countries also abstained. And your home, where you live now, India, chose to abstain. What did you think when India made that decision?
Well, honestly, I didn't really think about it much. For me, the victory, the countries that voted for Iran, they were more important. And that's all I looked at. We don't care about the ones who voted against it or abstained, or that doesn't matter. What matters is that people are seeing what's happening, and more countries are seeing it, and they're coming to help us. So that's all that matters, honestly.
Let me ask you about how your family is doing back home, because you've mentioned the sort of economic crisis they're facing. I understand when the protests first started in September, you couldn't reach several members of your family. So,
yeah.
And you yourself, having lived in Iran, have had to deal with the morality police and the Sharia law. What are they telling you now about how things are going?
It's really bad. Now the internet is a little okay. It's off at some times, it's coming back on again. But in the beginning, when they put the internet off for like days and weeks, it was scary. I had to like constantly try and call them directly, like on a direct call. No WhatsApp calls were available. No FaceTime, nothing was possible. So I would call them and then the calls wouldn't go through either. So those times were a little scary because you just don't know what's happening and all that mess and if they're okay or not. But right now we know that they're okay, but we're all really sad and the situation is still really bad. And we're all just hoping for that one day where things change.
Elnaz Norouzi is an actress living in Mumbai. I want to thank you so much for your time and good luck with your efforts.
Thank you so much.